Evil Squid Comics podcast. We are part of the Collector's Maze Network.
Don.
Scott.
And Drew. All right, Jupiter's Legacy finale, right? Is that what
It is.
called?
Yes,
Okay.
Volume 6.
Yeah.
Which is the big wrap-up of this whole thing that's taken, 20 years to complete?
27 years.
Something like that.
27 years.
He did it
It's quite
before
that,
Wanted.
but
He did not do it before. What are you guys talking about?
I don't
That's
know.
all good.
I just know it took a long ass
It
time.
did take a long time. And I thought it would take a long time because he was having Quietly draw part of it. But then on this one, it's 5 issues with 3 different artists.
Oh, yeah, there's a whole ton of them. And man, somewhere there in the middle, that art is just
atrocious.
Yeah,
I
it
like
just does.
Tommy
I don't like
not.
any of that art. I know people like Tommy Lee Edwards
I
the
do.
first 2 issues. I don't like him. His
I
stuff.
didn't think that was too
I don't
bad.
like his style that he's changed to.
Hmm.
I liked his old style. This new
Okay.
style, ugh.
I didn't think those
It
first
does
two
look
were...
Middle
very
guy.
different.
I didn't
not
think
very
those were
good.
too bad.
The last guy
and
was
the last
okay.
one I think was pretty good.
But by then the story had completely gone off the rails, and I was like, just shoot me in the head.
That
Yeah.
last one looks more like Tommy Lee Edwards. The one in the middle just throws you for a loop. That one's just like...
But the last issue is when they are fighting the so-called big bad, right?
Yeah, sure.
You
If there
already-
is a big bad.
They've already spoiled the whole,
Yeah, the first issue tells you what the jig is up, right? Like what the
they
whole
explain
point
what the whole
everything is.
point of everything is.
Yeah,
Okay,
and then it's
okay.
just 4 more issues of just stupidity.
Of stupidity and
And
people
like,
dying
oh, how are we
and
gonna get out
whatever
of
else.
this? And
How
like,
are we doing this?
I don't even care how they get out
And some
of it.
other planet gets wiped out, and now it's all ever trying to get there, and you don't really care about many of the characters anyway.
And I don't
And then-
recognize any of the characters because some moron artist is drawing them now that looks nothing like the other
Well,
people.
for me, it took a bit of a second, too, to remember what the hell happened, because the last time I read this was probably 3 years ago. So to try to catch myself back up, reading there.
Yeah,
going,
that too.
okay, it's starting to come back to me.
I mean, I get it's the children who I don't even remember that much, right?
Yeah, and the whole
like
thing
the
with the
second
one
or
guy,
third generation.
whatever utopian version or whatever that this guy is, who's his great grandfather or whatever, or grandfather was the utopian, and now he's taking on the same mantle. But I guess he had like a dual.
Kind of dual life.
Dual
I
life thing
vaguely
going.
remember that.
So-
but they just brushed on it in here.
Yeah,
and barely touched
yeah,
on it. I'm
yeah.
like,
I mean, it did feel like, somewhat of Millar, at least in the recent stuff, where he's just moving at a lightning pace and is really trying to just get to his end game,
Yeah.
And because of that, there's very little buildup of any of these characters, I feel.
Yeah,
So
he's
I don't
just-
know how much you care about it. More in this case is, I think, the idea that he wanted to get across overall, but
yeah.
I don't know. I would think that you probably did not care for that idea, but I guess you don't tend to be too, what would I say? You tend to actually handle people's different thoughts and opinions and things much better than I think that Don or I do. So if some where I'm going with that is that
Where are you going?
I'm trying to not be a little bit spoiler free, because of the fact that I know this guy's probably not going to like the ending.
I
But
don't care, dude. I'm not listening.
in a lot of cases, I feel like by the end of this, or what he's trying to tell in this thing, is almost like John Lennon's Imagine.
Yeah,
in some
totally.
respect.
Yeah, no, it's like, dude.
So he's going with his opinions, a little bit of his
it's so
politics, in here.
So dumb.
And you, I always appreciated that about you, is you never hold that against a good story. If somebody
Too bad the story sucks.
if somebody has an opinion that's different than you, if they tell a story that's very good, you still enjoy it, or in the case of music or whatever it is.
Sure.
Now in this case, the story just flat out, yeah, you're right. It doesn't hold up to, I think it almost starts falling into the Remender area of being a little too, maybe preachy, especially in the last one.
The end is totally heavy-handed. It's
Yes.
like, let me phone in everything, have mindless battles with characters I don't give a shit about, have really bad art, and have a lot of people die and not even care. And then at the end, it's like, oh, hunky-dory, look, this is my utopia, everything's perfect, here's my vision of how society should be.
Yes.
I mean, it's just like jammed right in there. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Oh,
not
absolutely.
even built up, not even like, so bad. It's like, when I read the first 2 Jupiter's Legacy trades, and then the third one, I think Quietly actually did the art on that one, I was like, this could be like an amazing book. Like, this could be like Millar's Watchmen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my God, these last 2, it's like, just shit the bed, man. So
Well,
bad.
definitely not as near as good as the first half of stuff. He should have ended it where he ended it, and did you really have to explain why they got superpowers or whatever else. I don't know. I mean, in the overall narrative of things, I do appreciate the fact that he had a full idea, and that there does feel to be a certain, I don't know if I want to say originality on it, but there is a certain creativity, I feel like, that was going on there, with this whole idea. But at the end of the day, I almost feel like this is freaking The Matrix Revolutions or something, like that.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
And where he's taking some of that.
Yeah, like the fourth Matrix movie, which was horrible.
Oh, that's true too. But I don't know. I didn't dislike it as much as you did.
Hated it.
I did feel like, I would almost go to the fact that it's got the typical Millar pacing, where he is moving at a pretty fast pace. People are dying. The art itself, like I said, I liked the very first couple of issues. The middle ones, I didn't like the art as much, but I think that's because I like the earlier art better. And I feel like his overall story that he wanted to tell, he got to tell. And I feel like it actually holds together as a full story. But I'm with you. It's definitely not one of his stronger works, though. He did not make the ending near as strong as his beginning.
I cannot hate this book enough.
Guys,
I understand. So you have five issues of nothing really story-wise happening, but yet it's full of words that say nothing. So I don't know how you have 5 issues of nothing happening.
How can you say that there's nothing happening, though?
It's like the same thing happening.
You give
same thing's happening for 5 issues.
His first issue is this guy spilling the beans and everything else. So
so it's just
where things are there. So there is a lot of that, but it's an exposition of why things were the way they were.
Yeah.
And what was really going on and all this other previous stuff.
Actually, it's technically the second issue.
Is it? Okay.
The first one's wrapping up the last trade.
It is. The first one is really the war and things and all this other fighting. The second one is more, hey, what is going on?
This is what's happening for all of these
That's
issues.
right. And so then 3 is basically the destruction of a planet to see what I told you in number 2 is really the story. And then you got 4 and 5, which is basically all taking more place on Earth, the buildup of things to finally his end game in 5. So it moves. I mean, he's got a point to each issue, I feel like. I mean, he does a lot of shit out of 5 issues. That's my feeling on it. Now,
nothing happened, and it's...
See, I don't know. I would disagree a bit with that. There is stuff happening quite a bit. But the problem, I think, goes back to where you originally hit. A lot of stuff is happening, but why do I care?
Oh, I don't care about
that. Bingo. That's the problem. That, all this stuff is happening, but because there's been such a long period between time, and he introduced all these characters from all these other planets that you didn't even get a chance to really even understand much.
And don't forget, they used a bunch of different artists that draw the characters different.
Yes. So all this stuff where it didn't really lock into place very well, while he's doing his typical fast-paced boom, 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 you do not care about any of the characters. Not like you did in the first couple of volumes.
Let me just say this. Fuck you, Mark Millar, okay? Because you got $100 million from Netflix of cash. You can't hire one artist to draw 5 freaking issues for your 6 trade paperback volume magnum opus. You can't figure out how to get one guy to draw 5 issues.
Yeah.
What the hell, man?
I would agree with that.
What the hell? All right, I'm done.
Cool.